Namaste and a warm welcome to all of you for the 28th day of the Global Festival of Yoga. We are on the second session. We had a lovely session this morning from Dr. Matthias Cornelissen on yoga and evolution of consciousness. And for the second session, we have with us Miss Melinda. I request Miss Melinda to kindly come on screen.
Namaste.
Namaste, Melinda. Thank you for joining us. So we're on the 28th day, as I mentioned, and this whole event started from the International Yoga Day. And Indica Yoga as a platform is a platform that offers authentic, immersive, and transformative yoga experiences across the world. And we look into yoga, we understand yoga in all its inclusive and diverse forms. And with that, we have conceived this entire festival, and we would want to bring every strand of yoga, every authentic strand of yoga into this festival and the experience. Therefore, we have with us Miss Melinda, who will be presenting on the Satipatthana practice. She'll be speaking more about it and also leading us through a practice. Maybe I'll start with a very brief introduction of Melinda. Melinda is a very good friend of mine for nearly 2 decades now, and she holds an MSc in Yogic Sciences from Yes Vyasa University, Bangalore, and also an MA in Buddhist Dharma Teaching. And she is presently the doctoral candidate of History of Pedagogy at ELTE University. Hope I am pronouncing it properly, ELTE University. Uh, and she's also working as the assistant professor in Dharma Gate Buddhist College in Budapest in Hungary. She has also been involved in many social activities such as yoga in prison, old age homes, etc. And I have personally visited her in all these places where she conducts classes, and I'm highly appreciative of what she has been doing. And also, she is a very good singer. She's also part of a band which is a very popular in Budapest, and she also sings beautiful Carnatic music songs. So probably we'll also get a taste of it at the end of the session. And with this, I would like to invite Melinda to lead us through this session, and also to see or to present before us how the practices of yoga, the larger understanding of yoga unfolds in many different kinds of strands, including the practices in the Buddhist tradition, of which she is very familiar, and of which she is a part of it while teaching at Dharma Gate Buddhist College. So please take us through this journey of this practice, as well as the insights that you get from the Buddhist traditions. So with this brief introduction, I request Melinda to take over, and also welcome all our participants once again. And if you have any questions, kindly put those questions in the Q&A box, and we'll have time for Q&A at the end of the session. So with this, over to you, Melinda.
So thank you. What to say? I'm thankful indeed to be here with all of you, and it's my pleasure actually to have this opportunity and share some kind of insight about our practice. And the question raised from Vinay Chanda, so it's very difficult to start, or where to start at all this question, Buddhism and yoga. And I'm not expert to say anything regarding the historical points, or regarding the very and really close connection to the Tibetan and the Hindu practices, because they are still under scientific research, and many people are working on that to reveal the real truth all about this interconnection. And I selected some topics what is really close to my heart. And before I start this topic, let me share that what yoga means for me. Yoga means life. Yoga means insight. Yoga means fullness. And whenever people ask me to talk about yoga, I usually say in the college, if today you ask me what yoga is, I will give some kind of answer. And if you ask me tomorrow, then tomorrow I will give entirely different answer. And it will be all the time, it's like a refresh points, and by seeing, by watching, but cognizing and just receiving the blessing of yoga gives me immense love and enthusiasm daily based. So let me start, because already I will give some answer even for the initial question from Vinay Chanda. And I prepared with some PowerPoint presentation, and we will start with some kind of philosophy, let me say, but the practice is the most what we need. So maybe in the middle, we will just stop and enter and dive into the real heart and core of the practice as well. So, and also I will request Vinay and Anu, who are really my good friends from last 20 years, as Ina Chanda said. So in case of any trouble with the screen sharing or any other technical things, just please help me out.
Sure.
Okay. So for me, what comes first? For me, yoga comes first. And throughout yoga, I came to know about Buddhism. And what happened throughout the daily practice, I just realized one is going hand in hand with the other one. And Buddhism gave me a nice frame, or let me give an example. It's something like a bowl. And I'm putting the yoga practice, my own personal yoga sadhana, in this bowl. And it is holding. And it gives the frame of that. So whatever I will talk about it, just consider this is just a point of view, how we are looking into this subject. And there are many angles to do that. So I can come from the historical points, I can come from the linguistic points, I can come from the real practical points, but all of these will be only just angles and just the perspectives about the truth. And might be what I share also just partial truth. So let me expound that also. Okay. So this is the real starting. I say it is a 0 point before to talk about anything, because Buddhist philosophy speaks about 2 types of truth. And it is called like Samvriti Satya and Paramartha Satya. And these 2 types of truth means, yes, we are living in this world. Maybe we experience the samsara. And whatever we can say, it's just a part of the conventional truth. So if I say, yes, it's morning, so the sun is rising, even it is relative truth, because sun is not rising at all. Sun stays as it is all the time. But I realize that in the morning, I receive some kind of sense about the sun, it's rising somewhere. And in the evening, it's going to somewhere to sleep maybe. But these are all just conventional truth. And Paramartha Satya is a different things when we are talking about something what is not, what cannot be expressed by words, but we can have some experience. And even if we are talking about the ultimate truth, just we will have a little glimpse. What is that? In Buddhism especially, it will be the concept of emptiness. And I would like to not have a real deep, in-depth Madhyamaka or Yogacara or any other philosophical lecture today. But what I would like to share, the useful and important practice, what you can use it daily base. It doesn't matter if you know anything about the Buddhism, or even if you have not yet started to practice yoga, then you can start this easy and natural practice by your own right now. So let me start about this 0 point. So this two truth. So whatever I will say, it will be only the part of the conventional truth. This is first. Speech, words, all are belongings to the category of the conventional truth. So even this live stream, we say live stream, but the stream is not alive at all. And we are meeting due to this pandemic, the global situation. We are so fortunate we can meet throughout cameras, throughout technology, but honestly, we are not meeting at all. I don't know you, you don't know me. I know Vinay Chandra, I know Anuragha very well, some of my friends, and they are still in my heart. So every day I can think on them, but I cannot see them. I cannot touch them. I cannot feel the prana. When they are coming into my room and we share our presence here and now, then it means we are connected directly, and that is live meeting. And this is something just we are calling live meeting in the virtual reality. And we all know that if we are practicing yoga or we are following any path in the Buddhism, then we know this is part of the samsara, or we can call it maya or lila. And nothing is wrong with this, nothing. We have to accept and we have to act accordingly without forget about the ultimate truth. And this dualistic appearance, even if I say two types of truth, it is because of avidya. Because we are not in that state to experience the ultimate truth. Immediately, if we are in that state, then even this duality will not exist anymore. So now this is the starting point for our live session today. And this Indica Yoga Festival aimed for a little bit discuss about what wellness is. So I also started to think when Vinay Chandra was inviting me a few weeks back, what wellness is, what does mean? And English is not my mother tongue. Moreover, we are not using English in my country officially. Moreover, I should add, even in office. So it's not a compulsory for people to understand English. And still now I have to use it as a medium. So English somehow, what means for me, just I can talk about it right now. But might be it does not even means that. And it is like partial truth. Again and again, there will be partial and partial and partial truth. So my pre-question was, what does it mean to us life or health or freedom, harmony, happiness? Beyond the words. And if I would request you now, after my classes, if you have just 5 minutes, just please have that 5 minutes. Just close your eyes and have this question in your mind and try to answer in depth, not superficially, but in depth. What does mean life for you? What do you think when you are healthy? What is your health? It is physical, mental, emotional, what? So perspectives on wellness, if we would like to have a picture about it, then it could be also scientific approach, philosophical, religious. It can be objective. It can be also subjective points. But really, just think on or contemplate on for a while. I was just playing with this word. What wellness is? Lack of illness. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social health. There are so many definitions in even the WHO had given a nice definition for health, but that is their definition. So you have to unfold yours. I played, as I said, with the words. So I wrote happiness. Maybe wellness is happiness. Might be fullness, might be emptiness. For some other people, gracefulness, joyfulness. Some other again comes from the point, oh, it's a kind of freedom of I-ness, ego sense. Or if I'm becoming only a witness, then it makes to feel this complete health or wellness. Some other practitioner would say, oh, this is the state of alertness, or abide in that blissful awareness. It's more the yogic point of view. Or simple, it's spaciousness, experiencing the space within and all around. And when I'm in that state, then I feel total, complete peace. So yogic and Ayurvedic or Buddhist tradition all have their own specific definition. I just put some. You might know and you might be familiar with all of these. So mostly from Patanjali, you have the knowledge about this concept. Like if our mind is free from vrittis, or vrittis means like afflictions, or movement, or waves, thought waves. Or we can take the Ayurvedic point of view. I just wrote as a rememberings, like samadosha, samavayu, samagni, samadhatu, malakriya. That is one definition of health. When our doshas are in balance, when our 5 prana in balance, when all the agnis also working properly, or all the 7 or saptadhatus and all the kriyas are in good quantity, good quality. So maybe that is the health. Maybe we can say it's a kind of wellness, inside, outside, physical, mental. And more philosophically, we can say the state of moksha or kaivalya or the enlightenment state. So if I take the Buddhist or Buddhist yogic approach, again, we will find that there are many angles, many pathways to enter for this. And I just wrote as a remembrance, like Sutric, Tantric, and Dzogchen lineages are also giving different explanations. And if we are talking about the different system of Buddhism, like Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, please note that might be they seem to be different paths. But after 20 years of practice of the Buddha Dharma, I clearly can say that it only seems to be different paths, with different techniques, with different entering points or gates, how to reach, how to approach the real question, how to reach a kind of state that Buddha had reached, showed us. So let me say that there is no yanas, only ekayana. And in this sense, yogic approaches and Buddhist approaches are one and the same. In the superficial level, yes, they are different. They have this technique, this term, that term in Pali language, in Sanskrit language, but it doesn't matter. Finally, we will come to the same point. And the point can be point, or it can be what a point is. I started with this, the mandala, drawing a mandala for today, the 0 point. So if point is there, what about if it is 0? What is it? If it is empty. And what is if this emptiness giving all the possibilities? What is if this point, this nothingness, is the fullness? It's up to you how you think on these questions. So all categories will be just part of the relative truth. And what I experienced throughout my practices last 20 years, whatever I did, whatever kind of schools, because I joined many gurus and masters and lineages, year by year. But I had to realize all practice could be practiced with effort or in effortless manner. All practices was a kind of harsh things or smooth things. And when somebody can reach the effortless way of practicing, like in Patanjali says regarding asana, prayatna shaitilyananta samapatibhya, then the real knowledge, the real insight will come. And also I realized that all practices could be learned from teachers in official way. So we are going to see someone, we are joining to yoga class, starting to follow some gurus, and also we start to read books, sutras. That is the formal, to get the knowledge in formal way. But it is possible to receive all the knowledge, all the insight spontaneously as well. So I encourage all of you to have this openness all the time and be ready for the moment of oneness or the moment of enlightenment. Because that is inside already. Just we have to discover. So going back to the question of wellness and health. So total health or absolute wellness, to put in some, again, in some word, expression, then I just collected some. Get rid of all kind of suffering, or cessation of mental afflictions, or cessation of ignorance, accomplishment or realization of our true nature, or enlightenment. That kind of definition also we can reveal throughout our practice. So, and how to reach, the question arises in our mind. Definitely it will come, this question. So, simple answer, even Dalai Lama always remind us, by training our mind. That is the key factor, training our mind. How to train? By following the traditions, paths, gurus, techniques, methods diligently. It is important. If we follow regularly, systematically, for a long time, then we say we are in the gradual paths. And why we are taking this gradual path? Because we would like to purify our three gates. Three gates means the body, the speech, and the mind. If we are in the state of duality, means there is something what is like a veil in front of us, and might be affects our body system. In the term of Ayurveda, might be our doshas are out of balance. So we should work on that to get back the balanced state of the doshas in a physical level or in the mental level as well. Or whatever kleshas we are having in our mind, then it makes difference what we are talking about, what we are doing daily basis. So it's very much needed in the dualistic state to do the purification processes. And all kinds of purification practices are exist, both in the Hindu or Vedic yoga tradition and in the Buddhist tradition as well. In Tibetan practice, they call as Nindro. And in yoga tradition, we can think on Kshatriyas, for example. So somehow we step into the practice, but we are not pure or clean. And we should start with the purification. And that is gradual path. And once we are ready, then our mind will be receptive for the teachings. And in other hand, so let me go back. In another hand, there is a chance, there is a possibility, as I mentioned before, to follow a kind of direct path as well. And direct path means anywhere, anytime, we can have the spontaneous realization. So motivations, orientations, and attitude also can be different. If I would have time to talk with all of you personally right now, it would be so interesting to discuss what is your motivation, why you are doing yoga, why you, better to say, why do you want to be in the state of yoga? Because yoga is maybe not even a practice. Yoga is a state of mind when the mind is in union with its own nature. And that is just beautiful things. So what kind of motivation? Just again, I just collected some. Someone comes from the point of Shraddha, so faith and trust. Since they have the faith and trust, they start to slowly open up. And another person might be comes from the questioning points, the queries. They love to think on. They have all doubts, but in this sense, doubts will help them to unfold the truth for themselves. Some other people have more capacity, or they like to have more silence all around. So their part will be the contemplative part. And throughout contemplation, they will get the knowledge, and also the spontaneous. So Patanjali Yoga Sutra, in the first chapter, it says like Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvaka, Iteration. So even Patanjali mentioned that there are many type of approach. So training our mind, a tool for the health, wellness, or overall health. And it is not something belongs to the so-called spiritual field. Findings and proofs in scientific research. Even in this Indica Yoga Festival, I saw many world famous names who were presented their findings, research findings, and I was really amazed by listening them, by the dedication, how in daily basis they are working on the scientific approach to prove for the scientific word. For those people who doesn't have any interest in spiritual things, in philosophy, for them, they are doing a great service because they are having the datas, the proofs, and slowly, shanai. So slowly, they also will open up to understand what truth is, what the ultimate truth is, beyond the conventional one. So neuroscience, neuropsychology, biochemistry, molecular biology, genetics, and cognitive science, and many other fields already have these proofs in their hand. So those who are interested in this, please go and Google, and you will find many research, and also upcoming research. Just only one I put here because 2-3 days back I also submitted the questionnaire to support their research work. So it's about Protect Mental Health COVID-19 study. See how fresh. Because science also can be support the core understanding. What happened all around. So what meditation is? Meditation is a training to our mind, or is it a kind of method for culturing our mind, or training or retraining? I wrote that. Whether is it a training or just we would like to remind ourselves how the mind is working, what is the real nature of our mind. Because might be even meditation is not a practice, just a state of mind, to be in that state, the natural state. So might be we only have to recall or get rid of the daily routines or afflictions, and might be it will show itself, the true nature. So nothing to be trained. Just remember on that. Just be aware of that. So Buddhist practices contemplation, often called the process of mind training, not as meditation, but bhavana. Bhavana can be understood in different ways also, like development, cultivating, producing, calling into existence. And they use sometimes these terms like chitta bhavana, like cultivation of the mind, or metta bhavana. Metta is a universal practice, exists in all schools. So cultivation of loving kindness. And you can see the real parallelity with the yoga tradition. There is no difference. Even the Brahma Viharas are all the same, the four basic things like karuna, metta, mudita, upeksha. In Patanjali Yoga Sutras and in the Buddhist Pali text also you will find with the same expression, same words, same terms. So development of Shamatha Bhavana, what I missed out, the development of tranquility, or we say sometimes peaceful abide, or the Vipassana Bhavana, or Vipassana Bhavana is development of insight. So we have many terms, again, for meditation. And today I selected the Satipatthana, the mindfulness, and with that intention, nowadays this word mindfulness is so popular and many people are using for different things. And first let me clear, this will be not the method invented or created by Kabat-Zinn. I appreciate him a lot, but today I will come from the traditional point of view, means it is the Satipatthana. And the source for this practice is the Majjhima Nikaya, the discourse on establishing of mindfulness. And the other one is in Digha Nikaya, the great discourse on the establishing of mindfulness. So these two are the real source for the practice, what we will do together. And just that I tried to give a small or short definition. So Satipatthana is one of the most fundamental and profound meditation practice to Sakyamuni Buddha, more than 2,500 years ago. And it's still valid, it's still fresh, and it's still very, very useful. So the systematic way to develop awareness and kind of non-judgment could support our physical, mental, emotional health. And besides, it could change our repulsive attitude towards demanding or challenging situation and brings acceptance and understanding. And why is it so important? Because nowadays, if you see the global situation, demands are many, and not even the pandemic, but lockdown and changing our daily routines because of political situations and restrictions. It gives us immense and opportunity. I mean, it's like unbelievable opportunity to develop our understanding and to change our attitude. Because outside, there won't be any changes. These things are going on. I cannot say anything about this, even about COVID-19. How long does it take? It is coming and it is going. And if it will finish once, then might be another will come. Or might be today is, we can say it's global peace, but might be tomorrow there will be some war, or might be some floods, or earthquake. So who knows what will happen? And we cannot change those things, but what we can change, our attitude, our reaction. And it will give not only inside, but in our daily life, it can support our happiness and the peace of our mind. And that is so important. How to maintain our health. I was talking about wellness and health for some minutes before. But how can we maintain that? Only if our mind is in peace. So the key is the attitude, how we react, how we receive the things. And the Satipatthana, especially in the second part, in the Vedana part, you will learn formally. You have the tool to understand and practice it. So, and Satipatthana is some kind of the core of other practices, and it can be considered as a preliminary practice, and it can consider as a full practice, ultimate practice as well. It gives confidence for practitioner if they enter only into this subject, and they will be ready to realize what shamatha is, what vipassana is. And even a kind of Tibetan practices, visualization, or even guru yoga can get deeper understanding. I mean, people can get a deep understanding of their own practices. More, I can share my experience, but like guru yoga, visions on dakinis or yidams can be occurred spontaneously if our mind already get trained throughout these simple practices. Because what we need for insight, what we need for this type of so-called higher practices, the emptiness, the non-judgment, the openness, the silence. So all of these can be reached throughout this practice. So Satipatthana, whether is it a gradual or direct path, and let me just share, this is one of my favorite book, and maybe the English version looks different one, but we are using it in Hungarian whenever I'm teaching, and it's written by a Buddhist monk in 2003, Analayo, and the title is Satipatthana, but the subtitle is important: the direct path to realization. So, even though we consider the Theravada tradition as a sutric one, and even if we consider the Satipatthana or shamatha or vipassana a kind of formal meditation practice, then we can have also this openness when we say, oh, this is also a kind of direct path. Because in any stages, and unfortunately there won't be today time to go into the Pali text, the original ones, because you will see paragraph by paragraph, it gives the opportunity for the Theravada, for the Mahayana points, even for the Vajrayana points, and even for the Dzogchen points. Within one text, you will find all these layers. So Sakyamuni Buddha was so great in Satya. So throughout speech, he could offer for the all layers for people who were listening him. So according to our mindset, our capacity to grasp the things, there is the opportunity to have the enlightenment in each way. So meaning of sati, awareness, wakefulness, alertness, and the other part of the word is upatthana or upasthana. I don't have the transliteration in my computer, so please forgive me. Mainly I will use the English versions because of this. So upatthana or upasthana comes again, sthana or stha. And this is so nice to again play with the words, because stha is something like stand. That is the root for all of that. So we are standing in that alertness. We will stand up and look at things as they are. This is the real meaning. And when I was playing, I gave some kind of approach. So discover the meaning without having preconceptions brings us to these conclusions. Maybe Satipatthana can mean to stand near to the truth, to the reality, to the things as they are, or better to say first, as they appears in the dualistic way, but then as they are. in the ultimate truth. Also can Satipatthana can mean to us like to stand alert or to need to being steady in a wakeful, alert or aware state, or constantly being in the state of mindfulness. So just I encourage you not going only for the traditional way for explanation, but find your own through the practice. And then we enter now into the practice together, and soon I will stop this philosophical chit-chat and discussion. So what is the fourth contemplation? The fourth object. So first is the kaya. Kaya is the body. So what we do, we start to observe. We do nothing. We do not want to visualize anything or create image, nothing. Just we sit in a cross-legged position. Any position is good, by the way. So, but per the sutta, it says like, sit in any cross-legged position under a tree and have the observation about on your breath, that's all. So, the kaya gati sati, starts like observation, clear comprehension on breath, postures, actions, body parts, elements, phases of the body decay. It is also called as kernel ground contemplation. So this is the first part. And today we will practice a little bit of this. And the second part is the Vedana part, means like feelings, you can translate into English. And this is the key, as I mentioned, to have the peace and happiness and Santosha, but I mentioned in the title of today's session. Santosha means like contentment. So it is the key to develop our contentment and peace if we are working with the Vedanas. And Vedanas are threefold as per the scripts. So it can be pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And I have to stop here. What is neutral? What kind of feelings can be neutral? Any kind of feelings can be neutral. But it does not mean, for example, it is like something boresome for me, or it doesn't mean this neutrality like disinterestedness or indifference. Might be it is only like unconcerned, might be, but not even that, because we are concerning that. We are not in the state of making decision about one situation. For example, a lockdown. Let me give this simple example. There is a lockdown in one city, and some people feels bad about it, and they feel they are having this restriction, and it's unpleasant for them, and they got angry, maybe they got sorrow or any negative emotions. But this is their reaction, how they react to the situation. So it's completely up to them whether they take it as an unpleasant or a pleasant situation. And some other people are really happy to have the lockdown. If you talk to people, especially from the field of yoga or Buddhism, even in my country, you'll get amazed, because almost 100% they say, oh, I'm so happy. Life became more slow, more peaceful. I have more time for myself, for my family. I can spend more time with those things what I really would like to do. So our sensation is different. Feelings will be different as per our private personal decision. And there is the third category, neither this or nor that, because I'm not in the state of decision. I'm not entering into the left or the right side. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle point, and only I'm just seeing, watching observing what the things are, what the things are happening all around and within. So this is so nice to understand and have the kind of witness attitude and develop that throughout the practice. So only we will cognize the things, but without making decision to this or that side. And sometimes, yes, we need to. And if something is like a kind of himsa, violent things, and definitely we have to react. We have to avoid any kind of harm in our life. But again, there is an opportunity not to react with aggression, hatredness. We can have the neutral state of our mind, the peaceful, the calm attitude. How it is possible? It is possible if we are in the state of pure cognition. Pure cognition. Okay, so let me go faster a little bit for the sake of practice. So the third part is about citta, and the text and the practice is dealing with the presence or absence of the 8 categories. First, it's dealing with the 4 unwholesome states of mind, like the raga or dosha or dosa in Pali, and mokkha, and vicikitsa. And the other 4 is, we can say, like higher states of mind, like mahagatta, mahagatta. It depends on like it is present or there is an absent of that state. Lofty, unlofty, and surpassable, unsurpassed one. And so on and so on. So you can read one by one. And the 4th part, the last part, is dealing with the Dhammas. And what Dhammas? Like presence or absence of Pancha Nivarana, the 5 hindrances, or the 5 aggregates, or the 6 sense media, or the 7 factors of awakening, and the 4 noble truths. And you can say, oh, this is also like step-by-step methodology. And once I can say yes, and in another moment I will say no. It's all spontaneous, because even if you start with the Kaya Gati, Sati, you already you are dealing with the last one as well. Because everything is just consists of Dhammas. Even my breath consists of small particles. It has beginning, it has a middle part, and it has an ending point. There is transitions. And by watching my breath, also there are some kind of Vedanas occurs, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral ones. So we cannot say like step by step, now I'm only observing this and I'm only observing that. There is no as such. Even in the very first moment, we are dealing with all the parts, what Buddha mentioned. But for the sake of beginners, he put it in order. And the order is very important. He's coming from the gross to the subtle, and he's coming from the obvious ones, from the little untouchable ones, and whatever we have naturally, what is the easy and most easy to observe, that one he gives to us to start with. So it is a kind of really direct path if we consider all of these points. So let us practice now. So sit in comfortable postures. We'll have some experience. And if you need some cushion or folded blanket, please use it as a support for your spine. Have the spine erect and have a peace in your legs. Let them rest in this crossed legs position. And just observe first. What do you feel now? And also check your shoulders. Let them spread, widen. Raise your head. Have your chin a little bit in. And make the spine, make this central channel erect and straight. If the spine is straight, then you will feel the breath will be more natural. There is a natural flow of breath now. And once you are settled in your posture, then you can slowly close your eyes. And if you're more comfortable with open eye practice, then also you can have a point in front of you and just focus on that without any force. And just observe your breath without any reaction, without interfering with the breath. Feel as it is. If your in-breath is long, then know that my breath is long. If your out-breath is long, then observe it. Out-breath is long. If your inhalation is short, then observe, contemplate, and have a clear comprehension. My in-breath is short. Or if the out-breath is short, then have the knowledge on that. My out-breath is short. Do not interfere, do not react, do not change your breath. Just observe. If your mind wanders, then do not push, do not force. Be gentle with yourself. And just turn back to the observation of the in-breath and out-breath. Observe the breath from within. You observe your breath from outside. Or observe your breath from within and from outside in the same time. Observe your breath as a whole. And observe your whole body by breathing. Having a knowledge inside of your whole body by breathing in and out. Be gentle with yourself. Be alert and follow your in-breath and out-breath. And be aware the rising and falling. Be aware as the breath occurs and it disappears. As all phenomena occurs and disappears. Feel the changes. Anicca. And just stay in the state of observation without clinging on any object. Stay in a state of free observation, witnessing. And then slowly shift your awareness to your body posture. And observe your sitting. When I'm sitting, I know I'm sitting. Full awareness. I know I'm sitting. I know there is sitting posture. And feel all the activity appears. Feel the movement of your abdomen. Feel your limbs. Some of them are bent, some are straight. Feel the subtle muscular activity that maintains your posture. You can feel the producing of the saliva, the movement of the bowels. Feel whatever actions happening in your body system. Just observe. And be gentle with yourself. If your mind wanders, Just go back and observe your in and out breath, how it feels. Is it long? Is it short? What is my posture? What kind of actions are exist now in my body? Or else release all the objects and just stay in the state of free awareness. And have a few cycles of deeper in breath, long smooth out breath. And slowly come back to this presentation. Come back to the word. Maybe you are already in and you're not going to anywhere. Just you had some minutes in silence. So slowly open your eyes. Thank you for this short practice. And just please observe yourself. Not needed to add anything for this intellectually. Just maintain this state of open and calm peace mind. So let me conclude the theory part. So Satipatthana is a beautiful practice. It is a tool in our day-to-day life, and also it can be the highest practice for enlightenment. It's up to us. And we can deal with the Satipatthana from the point of the yoga tradition. So, and I started my yoga when I was 9 years old only. And we can say that it is more in my blood, in my vein, and Buddhism came later to give the frame and the bowl for all of this. So let me give some point from the point of the traditional yogic paths. Even Hatha Yoga, Dhyana Yoga and Raja Yoga shows similarity with these simple practices. And whatever path you are following, because most of you are in the daily practice of yoga, might be practicing asana, might be pranayama, might be any other techniques. So can any of the yogic practice be the object of our observation, contemplation? Just ask yourself. And truly the answer is yes. Yes, indeed. Can we get clear comprehension of any of the well-known practices of yoga, asana, pranayama, mudra, bandha, kriya, mantra, etc.? Throughout that? Yes, yes. So Satipatthana is not something novel or completely new teachings, what never existed before. It is just a systematic way given by Sakyamuni Buddha. That's all. He just gave a kind of summary or reinterpretation for some practice for what already existed in India and in other parts of the world as well. So we can ask ourselves, can we transform any of the yoga practices into dhyana? Yes, surely. And I'm a member of the Iyengar Yoga Association as well. But many people say like Hatha Yoga. Yes, okay, let me say this, Hatha Yoga. But whether people can see if they have no direct experience on the Iyengar Yoga system, can they say that, oh, it is only about asanas, physical, and using props, and all are so materialistic, seems to be like fitness, but it's not true. It's not true. It is a kind of method what gives all the 8 limbs of yoga within the asana. So you can unfold all the 8 limbs of Patanjali Yoga system. The Eightfold Path will open up throughout the precise practice of asanas. So interesting. So we can say that if you practice properly any of the yogic practices, including asana, pranayama, mudra, bandha, as I said, then it becomes dhyana, contemplation, and later on it will be the state of samadhi. It is just form. I'm sitting in Padmasana, or I'm having my Shirshasana 10 minutes or more. But definitely to maintain the state of enlightenment in Shirshasana, it's like have some limitation. Not like 10 minutes, half an hour, because it's possible, nothing is wrong. But how can I go for toilet? How can I eat in Shirshasana? So might be some easier natural posture will be fit for long life, to have the state of jnana, and nothing special needed. You have body, you have mind, so you have everything. You have heart. And last question was, like, can we experience of the state of total freedom, light, bliss, and spaciousness in any of yogic practices? And this is a result of chitta shuddhi, just I put, means the purification of the mind. So yes, we can. And if you say yes, then simply I again ask you, just observe. Can we experience a kind of happiness by being mindful? Maybe for 5 minutes we were practicing together, and maybe you had already some experience. It's a kind of natural joy. Can we experience the rising quality of contentment by witnessing things with full awareness? And I said, be gentle with yourself. Why I have said? Because I observed many people, especially beginners, they are forcing themselves. They are forcing themselves to be focused, to be one-pointed. But by force, nothing will come. We are getting more and more problems instead of get rid of our problems. So just be in gentle mood and be kind with yourselves. And, do a little less first. And then slowly, the increase will come, the duration to abide in this state. And when it will go, then stop it. Then again you start, again and again. And one day you will realize, oh, this is the real natural for me. So I don't want even to move anywhere. And I just sit as it is, without any interruption. And might be, yes, if I have something to do, because my kids will wake up soon, I'm just talking about my own private life, and it is reality, then I have to respond. then I have to stop to sitting here and talking to you. What can I do? I can do if I'm fully aware. If I'm not fully aware, then I won't respond properly for these challenges. Okay, so not needed to overemphasize, neither underestimate of particular practice, even like Satipatthana. Just do whatever you are doing or whatever you have done so far, but be in the state of open, wakeful state. So be open and observe the things as they are. So contemplation, meditation leads to chitta shuddhi, when the mind became free from any afflictions. We already talked about it. Patanjali mentions they can be klishta or aklishta, or pure or impure, and they are the navantarayas. And why I put here, why I would like to talk a little bit about it, because we started with the point what health is and why health is important. You should understand, because illness is the really strong impediment. So if we are ill, then we are not able to focus on anything. We won't have any clear insight on things. So we should work on to get back our health, overall health, what we say. And I just found a nice quotation from the Bodhisattvacharya Avatara work written by Shantideva, and let me just read it out. People who are disturbed by sickness have no strength to do anything useful or wholesome. Likewise, those whose minds are disturbed by confusion have no strength to do anything wholesome. So I really like this. And the other one is also the 25th verse from the 5th chapter. Whatever has been learned, contemplated, and meditated upon by those whose mind lacks alertness, and think on sati, think on mindfulness. So by those whose mind lack alertness, just like water in a leaking vase, it will not be retained in your memory or smriti. So the practice is really important. And what to develop more acceptance, more respect, more compassion, more love, more meaningful sensitivity. We will have this meaningful sensitivity within and also towards all the worldly things, towards our family, towards society, towards all the other sentient beings, including animals or plants. And also, of course, contentment will increase. And what contentment is, so finally we will reach this topic as well. It is called in Sanskrit Santosha, and Patanjali mentioned Santosha as a part within the Eightfold Limbs. Comes first the yamas and the niyamas, and when it starts with the niyamas, it's like Shaucha, Santosha, Tapassa, Dhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. So this Santosha, what he gives as a definition, it's also beautiful. Santosha Ranuttama Sukhalabha. So what comes from Santosha? The immense joy and immense happiness. And this is what we all need. What we all need. And I also searched another verse for you yesterday from the Dhammapada, and let me just read it also, because we are talking. We started with the health, the wellness, the questioning of what health is and what wellness is, and then it comes like arogya. The term is arogya, the health, and this is a nice story about King Pasenadi. And this is the quotation. Arogya parama labha Santutti paramam danam, vissassa paramannati, nibbannam paramam sukham. Health is the greatest gift, contentment is the greatest wealth, and a trusted friend, a trustworthy friend is the best support. Nibbana is the greatest bliss. And what was the story behind? So while the king, the Pasenadi, the Kosala, king of Kosala, the story comes like, while residing at Jetavana monastery, the Buddha uttered this verse. One day, King Pasenadi of Kosala went to the Jetavana monastery. After having a full morning meal, it was said that the king had eaten 1/4 basket, about half bushel, of rice with meat curry on that day. So it was like a big amount of food. So while listening to the Buddha's discourse, he felt very sleepy and was nodding most of the time. Seeing him nodding, the Buddha advised him to take a little less rice every day and to decrease the amount on a sliding scale to the minimum of 1/16 part of the original amount he was taking. And the king did as he was told and found that by eating less he became thin, but he felt very much lighter and enjoyed much better health. When he told the Buddha about this, the Buddha said to him, "O king, health is a great boon, contentment is a great wealth, and a close and trusted friend is the best relative or support, and Nibbana is the greatest bliss." So I really like this quotation, and I feel it is relevant even during this pandemic time because of lockdowns, and you can get many benefits by contemplating on these words. How we can have more contentment, what we have, and how we can get back our overall health by understanding it. Human life is so precious, and mainly due to this COVID situation and technology, we got more and more access for noble teachings. And myself, almost every day I'm listening some precious teachings from His Holiness, or from Tibetan Rinpoches, or gurus or monks, and I feel blessed so much because it gave us tremendous opportunity again, even though the situation is difficult. But in another sense, it opened up in many fields also, and to give this access for hidden teachings, for sacred teachings, and now we can have all of them without going to anywhere. So human life, all with these difficulties and burdens and blessings, it's precious. It provides us a unique opportunity to free ourselves and others from suffering and understand what reality is. And this clear insight emerges from the vision of reality and leads us to experience the contentment that we are talking about, Santosha, in our day-to-day life, and opening pathways to cherish joy, bliss, and happiness. And you can see the quotation from the Dalai Lama. What I really like, every day think as you wake up, today I'm fortunate to be alive. I have a precious human life. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to use all my energies to develop myself, to expand my heart out to others. So, what is that heart of practice? So, His Holiness always reminds us, like, develop altruism. It is the way of Bodhisattva. And I also just used the quotation just a few minutes before from the Bodhisattva Avatara text. So we need to develop this altruism and awakening the bodhicitta. What bodhicitta is? What does it mean to us? It means like you will be open your heartful mind. Heartful mind. And it brings immediate sensitivity, inevitable compassion, infinite non-attached, but all-pervading love towards other sentient beings, what creates limitless joy, happiness within and around. And it also leads to a natural urge to give, to share. And this is the final point now, I promise. So because dedication of merit comes to the picture, and it will become also natural. So we start from the zero and we will end with the zero, the questioning of the zero. So what zero is? To abide in natural state of mind. So it is a zero, it is nothing. No needed to search any magical supernatural powers, experiences. So it's a kind of zero, might be. Experience of shunyata and relax in this state. That is the heart of the practice. Or experience, you can say the purnam shunyam state. And I put in words like fullness of emptiness or perfect nothingness with all kinds of potentiality. Or be in the state of niruddha, or become one with the tathata, state of tathata, suchness, what I say. And I put the Zen circle just to make us to feel how it is full as well as empty in the same time. It's perfect by its own. So, and you know, it's also very nice when we say zero, zero doesn't mean nothing. Zero has its own value, and we know it very well from the Indian tradition. We have to be very thankful for the Vedic tradition, for this knowledge, to have the numbers, and especially to have the zero and whatever. We are adding zero to something, and we will multiply. We will multiply the value of that. If I put 1 and I put 0, then it will become 10. I will put 2 0, double 0, then it will be 100, and so on. So beautiful teachings. So 0 doesn't mean nothing. It has the value. So let us do the dedication of merit. And let me say from my heart, whatever mistake I did, it can be because of my English. Sorry for if I made any mistakes by grammar in language-wise, and also I have to apologize if I did any mistakes innocently during the practice or by conveying the teachings of Sakyamuni Buddha. But let me offer my mistakes also for the further improvement for you and for me and for all of us. So whatever proper insight, so besides the mistakes, whatever proper insight of merit we collected or we have gained by being together, spend time together, then let us share with all sentient beings who are in need, and let us wish together, may all beings be healthy, happy, and may all beings free from suffering and ignorance. And I stop sharing now, and I kindly request you to end this session, the mantra, the peace mantra together. So I know you might be familiar with that. In Pali it is Sabbe Satta Sukhihantu, but we will recite it, we will chant together in the Sanskrit version. So please, Vinay and Anu, if you would like to join, just unmute yourself for the sake of this mantra chanting. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet.
Om.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So that's it.
Thank you, Melinda, for an amazing session, I should say. It was complete in many ways. It had the whole philosophical foundations of the practice and a practical experience of Satipatthana meditation, and also stories, and also key focus areas where we need to look into, where we need to develop awareness after the practice. I think that was very, very helpful to keep us connected with the whole practice that you led us through. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
And I should also thank you for leading us through that deeply soothing and comforting practice. You should see the compliments shared by all our participants. They felt deeply touched with what you took them through. So thank you very much once again for that.
We should
And
thank you for the enlightened ones who shared us the practices.
and also I must congratulate you for a very flawless presentation. Though you said you had limitations in English, but it didn't come through anywhere.
It's good if you don't feel. I feel. Thank you. Okay.
So we have a few questions and the list is
Sure.
growing.
Sure.
Maybe I'll start one with a more question of a personal nature. This is from Seemaji, who is asking, and I'm sure many parents will have this question. And knowing you personally, I have seen how conscious a mother you have been, even before the children were brought into being. Like you have two lovely children, Emma and Levi, and the way you took them through the whole conscious process of pregnancy, and then also way you guide them even now. So Seemaji is asking, I'm a mother of three kids. I often get very angry and frustrated and
Sure.
scold my elder daughter and later repent about it. So how do you control this? How can she manage, or how have you managed?
We cannot control it. It comes. But we have tools to observe. Yes, I mentioned it. And we can have, yes, of course, we have some practice. And we can do like immediate reflection. If you are able to do the immediate reflection, means you are you have note, I am angry. Then it gives a break. So, and maybe it will even break right in that very moment, the kind of feeling and reaction to that situation, what happens. Because I cannot do two things in the same time. I cannot be angry and also I'm observing my anger. So when observation comes to the picture, it naturally calms down the mind. It stops the fluctuation. Or at least it gives a little, like the speed will a little bit slow down. That also a kind of improvement. And what I do, yes, I also got angry. Why not? So, and sometimes we need, or do you know, especially in Tibetan Buddhism, there are fearful deities, and we have to look like asuras, or, because the children cannot understand in another way sometimes. And because of some danger, also we are saving their life with that kind of attitude. But within, inside, we do not have to develop the anger. We can show that without being in that state. That is also a kind of art, let me say. And also, if I'm coming to the point of maybe tantric point of view, we can have the transformation process. We can use this energy. We can use that power for the transformation. So no need to run away from what we experience. More, we have to observe. We have to get real clear inside, because if I know my anger, when it comes, how it arises, then it will understand the existence of, and it is like terminal, or what to say in English, like limited in time, It comes and it goes. And if I am really in the true observation process, then immediately I will see the rising and the falling of that emotion. And there is no like existence of that as such. And let me give a simple example: the child delivery. Many women, when they deliver a child and they are in fear, that's also negative emotion or destructive emotion, and they have the immense fear from the child delivery, then they are not able to focus on what happens in their body. And meanwhile, those who are preparing for that with yoga or with meditation or cultivating the clear mind, then they will become more ready to have the courage for the observation. And I can say that, yes, my body works like that. My muscles are contracted. Okay, how long does it take the contraction? Yes, you all know, it takes 1 minute, 1.5 minutes maximum. Nothing, not more than that. And then it will release, the uterus will release. And again, the contraction will come and it releases. But those who are not ready to be in the present, to be in the clear comprehension, then what they will feel, it's like avidya, complete avidya. It's the non-real experience, because they will feel, oh, it's like existing all along the way. It's all the same. It's pain, 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 pain. It's not. It's contraction and relaxation, contraction, relaxation. It's anger and absence of anger, anger and absence of anger. That's all. And do whatever you feel with your 3 kids. Sorry, I forget your name. But yeah. Be gentle with yourself, be gentle with themselves, but also have the freedom to have the experience what's going on. And then you will understand what was the real cause of the arisal of that. And you will get amazed when you will realize nothing to do with what they did. Because might be anger was already inside. And just they are pointed out for yourself. Therefore, we can have the gratitude towards them, because they are unfolding our hidden negative emotion and destructive emotions. So let us practice together and have the feeling they are our friends. They are really spiritual friends to us, our children. And just pointing out the things what we should change, or we should get rid of, or, you know, that's it, what I can say.
Yeah, I think thank you very much for that insight. Like what you mentioned, that realization is so important, to get to know that I'm carrying the anger at this moment. Like just to realize that is already one best way or surest way of disengaging from that emotion. So having that awareness, and also, in fact, all these practices, even Satipatthana, like if you take the Sanskrit word, it means Smriti Upasthanam. Smriti is being mindful, Upasthana restoring.
And
so,
constant remembrance,
yes.
remembrance. I really like that way.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Or even Vipashyana, to be able to see something. So all this is pointing towards allowing us to see something which requires attention, and even a trigger like anger or whatever causes that trigger. I think it is also pointing us towards to see something which we might be missing out. So that was a very helpful explanation. Thank you for that, Melinda. And I also would like to add to all our participants, and there's also one more question, I'll link it with it. Since I have seen Melinda from close quarters, I know how consciously she led the whole journey of pregnancy and motherhood. She was very careful as to what her intakes are, not just food, but various kind of inputs that she used to take at that time, and what kind of engagements she had to keep, what kind of nutrition, everything. Like she used to really put all her mind and heart into it. And then you can see that beauty emerging in the children also. I've seen both of them. So, and there's also a question from Radha Rao ji, who's asking, what would be your advice to pregnant ladies? to enrich the process of fetus or the strengthening the fetus. That is one. But the larger part is how do you how can you contribute towards bringing good progeny into this world? Like how do we shape up the future which is more conscious and contribute towards this progression of conscious living? Your thoughts on that?
It's so complex question, and I think we run out of the time, but I would be really happy to answer it. But surely it won't be deep now because of the time frame.
True.
Let me just have short answer, and it will be partial answer only. Please note that. When regular people trying to think on having family, they have their own desires, and desire is something but is part of also the avidya, the three root cause of our suffering. Out of the three is the first and very most is the desire. So if I would like to give really short answer, it's a kind of desireless state of the mind, means it's all open up for to have and accept whatever comes. And the difference between those ladies who are wishing the child from intellect, for example, let me say intellect, okay? So they have the design about family. I want a good husband, I want to have children, I want a healthy child, male child, or whatever. So it's coming from the intellectual part, and it's all covered by kleshas. It's not a pure state of the conscious mind. If we can have the pure state of the mind, then it will comes with the bliss, with the ease, because everything will be natural, and it's not something by force again, same as in the practice. And we should develop some kind of what kind of attitude, how to say in English, sorry, this is my limitation in English, humbleness, for example. Humbleness, to accept things as they are, and not having the ego, egoistic desires within. Of course we can, and we can enjoy our life. We can be happy with our husband and with the kids, it's true. But from the core of our heart, we should have this clean, pure state, and offer it, and offer, let it happen. I think that is important, because we never know. I have my own example, and Vinaychandra knows my son very well, and I should say my son is my first and most guru in my life. Maybe I'm just here because of him. Nobody knows that. Why I had to have this physical body for this life. Might be just because of him. That's all. And he's teaching me a lot. He has health issue. He has very special karmic patterns what he's carrying, but he is really happy. We can say, in some sense, he's really in the mental health, the state of mental health, because he's always watching everything from within, without any conceptions, or preconceptions, and therefore he can connect with people directly from heart to heart, not from mind to mind. He's so spiritual by his nature. Even though I did many more practice with my daughter, it's a fun, more formal practice with my daughter, and she's not so much interested in spiritual things. But my son, yes, he is. He's bringing. So therefore, I always say he is the first and most teacher for me in this life. And he brings me again and again back to India as well. But I'm really thankful for that. So, okay, let me just finish here.
I just can add at the moment, Melinda loves India, and she takes every opportunity to come back to India, Mother India. And she's also fond of the practices, the rituals. And in fact, we went through the Mundana ceremony for Levi, her son. It was a beautiful ceremony in which he participated in Bangalore itself.
And also
So,
the Pitrakarya Puja.
yeah.
And let me add one thing, because maybe some people doesn't understand how it comes along with the Buddhism. And nothing wrong with that, because sometimes people misunderstand, okay, like Vedic traditional ceremonies and pujas, but within the Buddhist traditions also you will find ceremonies and pujas. So the way how we approach to this subject, that is also a question. If we take it as a dogma, if we are doing just with blind faith, then of course we don't need that. And I do not have acceptance for doing that just blindly, because somebody said to me to do it, and it will give blessings and all and all. But if you understand, even you are the greatest example for me, Baya. I can say Baya. You are the greatest example with your whole family. Because when I went and stayed with you, then I said, oh, and I was thinking, oh, so many processes. Oh, not even washing the plates here, I have to go there, or not to sit with you only by doing this and that, and wash here and wash this, and sprinkling water and this, and I got just full. But then I realized slowly, then every movement is a conscious movement, conscious action. What means you are all practicing the path of mindfulness in the form of, might be a ceremony, might be in the form of the eating. So all will be a kind of divine experience. Even going for toilet and after how you wash your hands can be a kind of a spiritual practice. If you understand and if you are aware and awake and you're maintaining this focused mind. And I cannot follow even your rights if my mind is scattered, because I don't know. And I'm just doing, oh my God, maybe I put my plate in the wrong place. Oh my God, what to eat, how to eat. Maybe I made some mistakes. If my mind is not focused, definitely I'm not able to follow your rituals and daily routines. So it is very much the practice.
Very true. All these practices have been devised to bring your focus, your attention to whatever you're doing. The only fear there is it can become completely mechanical in nature. So all those are on the path of spirituality also need to be aware of not to get things in a mechanical mode. Then the whole purpose is lost.
Yes. So we should avoid to be this kind of like robots. Yes. And the freshness needed, freshness. What means every single moment we need this smriti. That is sati.
Yeah. So I just read a message from Iva Viate, who is a regular participant here and a good friend from Switzerland. And she says, I confirm that by my experience that children are our best teachers. And I would like to add Iva's son, Ben, who had also joined us for this session a short while ago. He will be leading a session day after tomorrow, and he is one of the most interesting personalities. He walked all the way from Switzerland to India. On the way, spent many days in many parts of the world teaching yoga, teaching Qigong, teaching Tai Chi. And he has made many sankalpas for his life that he will not use a credit card, he will not burn petrol, he will not use, he will not use slippers. So many things. A very, very interesting personality, a wandering yogi, a wandering monk. You will all get to see him, meet to him and interact with him day after tomorrow. And he's hardly in his mid-20s.
Let me just give a joke for this.
Yes.
It's all nice. And regarding the previous question with the children also, it comes together. This joke, only what we have to maintain the non-attachment. So even if you made so many sankalpas, just be aware you're not attached to any one of that. And you are ready to live in any time, any of that. And not because of lack of awareness. So don't be mistaken. Get the mistake.
So there are a couple of questions regarding the practice.
Do you think we have more time? Because you
I mean, yeah, we will take another 5 minutes and wind up. So this is from Ramakrishna ji from Hyderabad, who says about the breathing practice. Should it be short breath or a long breath? And does it have any special significance?
No. I gave a secret knowledge now today. We are observing without interruption, without reaction, without interruption. So it makes a huge difference. And the text is very wisely created because when first we start, we sit and turn your awareness to your breath. And what happens? I always ask from my own student in the college as well, the same thing. What happens? Just observe. You sit and turn your awareness. Immediately when you turn your awareness and focus your breath, the breath pattern will change. Nothing to do with force or with intention to change it, because it will change itself. And it will become, what is your answer? It become longer. Because once our mind is turning, then immediate slowdown will start. So why the text starts with that? The first after you sit down and turn, the first long in breath, long out breath. Not because I'm making it long, right? I'm changing it, or I want to have a long breath, but it is the natural experience. So whatever Buddha was given, word by word, sentence by sentence, it was the experience. So, and what else? If once I started to observe, and I observe, oh, it's long. It's relatively long, longer than it was before I was sitting. But now I'm sitting, and I'm observing also, so it becomes longer. But after a while, what I will observe, oh, it will get shortened. Why? Because my mental activity starts. And it's also natural. And after I'm also developing more and more awareness, so I will see as a whole, my breath as a whole. Yes, it has changes all the time. Sometimes it's long, sometimes it's short. Sometimes my beginning of my breath is just faster, but it's slower than while I'm ending up with that. And I go more in depth with the phases of the breath. I can have the 3 phases within the inhalation, within the exhalation, and many more. And more I'm more going into details. The breath will more and more subtle and more conscious. So nothing to do with them.
In fact, that is the goal towards which we have to move in this practice, whether even in pranayama or in asanas also, where even Patanjali points it is prachardana is exhalation. So focusing on exhalation and elongation of exhalation, which happens either naturally because of the mind becomes indrawn, or even eventually initially by effort. But the focus is to lengthen the exhalation. And the benefits of elongated exhalation are many. There are many modern researchers also that have been done, how it affects many aspects of our being. So kindly go through them, and that should be the focus at the end, if I can add that. Yes, Melinda. So we have one more question related to practice. This is from Dr. Jaiprakash Gupta ji.
I'm just sorry. Just I have to add some points, because I made a joke about non-attachment, and these sutras, every part of the suttas, if we say the Kayagati Sati, even from the Kayagati Sati, the very first point is the observation on breath. Within the observation of breath, there are many sub-practices. And within those sub-practices, each one of them ends up with that. observing only up to that extent what we need to maintain our focus and awareness. That's all. And why I made that joke, to not even to have attachment to our you know, what we are doing, like I make a vow about not having for example tea, only just water or this or that, you know, and I'm attached to that, so I do not have the complete freedom just to do and just to be in that. Now it's a little joke, but with this practice also you can understand, if I'm only clinging on my breath, then it won't give the final result. So yes, I'm using it as a tool, but after sometimes I have to just abide in that. And also, yes, I'm aware of my breath, but I'm not anymore grasping my breath and doing something with my breath.
So I'll just read out the next question. Because what you're answering is also part of that question. So I'll read out that question. This is from Jay Prakash ji, who asks, do you see a constant focus on awareness? Is it a hindrance to experience nothingness or silence? Like if you have to be really focused on being aware, till what point you focus on being aware, and at what point you have to let go even of that awareness?
I think maybe English will be a little barrier for me to answer, but let me try. So it's neither this or not that. We are not letting anything to go away. Like we need the alertness, we need the wakeful state, but it's without effort. So again, we have to say that just we are staying in that. So it's an effortless effort. We say always effortless effort, what we are doing.
If I can connect it back with the Yoga Sutras, where about the asana, we say prayatna shaithilya ananta samapattibhyam. So shaithilya is the relaxation of prayatna, of effort, so that you just go into it, ananta samapatti, you just get extended into infinity. So you are holding it, but still you are not holding. That is the kind of a situation which you are pointing towards, I think.
Yeah. So it needs practice. And also, don't be too sad if I'm saying it needs practice, because I also opened this session today with that statement. It can occur anytime, anywhere. So.
Okay, so one common question that many are asking is, are there any reference material or books that you would suggest for those who can get initiated into this practice, into this philosophy? Any one or two books that you would like to suggest?
I really like Bhikkhu Bodhi. So any writings from Bhikkhu Bodhi, you can search or Google, or I can just type it later in the chat.
Yeah. So when we go for the announcements, maybe you could just type it down.
And I really love this book. Two books what I'm using. I'm always say the blue one.
I've already given that book, details of that book, Satipatthana, A Path to Realization.
And there is one more what I use it, and it's an old one. So first it was published, I think 1975. Satipatthana, the Heart of Buddhist Meditation, a handbook of mental training based on the Buddha's way of mindfulness, with an anthology of relevant texts translated from the Pali and Sanskrit by Jnana Ponika Thera. So I really like these two, because these two comes from different angle, again to the same subject. And of course there are many new books released. I think every month we can find a new one, but I stick with these two and I'm happy with them. And also we have the suttas with us in Pali most of the time, so we can also refer the original words and contemplate the meaning of the words itself. So that also helps to us to get closer to the practice.
Okay, so thank you so much. when we go for the announcement, I once again request you to kindly type in the names of the books. One book of Bhikkhu Analaya I have already given. The other book, if you could please type it down, we would be grateful. And before the announcement, I also want to request you to sing us a song.
Yeah, I was expecting this question, this request. Where it's a little bit strange.
And also, people are curious to know about the shrine behind you, the gods and goddesses that are there behind.
All are here. All forms are here. Because let me say something about Heart Sutra. When the teaching comes in the Heart Sutra, all form is emptiness and emptiness is form. So nothing wrong with this.
Beautifully put.
Okay, so, and regarding the practice of Carnatic Sangeetam, again, in Theravada tradition, it's like it's prohibition to sing a song, but in another type of practice within the Buddhist traditions, it's very much exists and they are using it, mantra chanting also, and they are also creating musics. Just give me an example, even for the Green Tara practice or the 21 practice of the Mother Goddesses. Also, they are singing. And the singing also can be a kind of mindful action. So it's nothing but the extension of the practice in one sense. And of course, if I'm attached to it, and if I'm just clinging on my emotions and doing it because of I want to create some positive feelings and emotions, maybe it's a little bit turning away from the core of the Buddha's teachings. But if I'm aware and I'm using it as for the purification of the mind, then why not to use it?
True.
We say everything can be upaya, a skillful method.
Yeah.
So consider my singing as a skillful method now, that's all. So, you like the dasana, so I will sing the dasana. And I have a shruti box with me. So, let me say if it is too loud or too less. Is it okay? It's too loud?
Reduced a little bit.
I turned it down. This is the minimum. If you know this, you can have the counting with me. Dasanamadi koyanna Swami, Dasanamadi koyanna Sasiranamada Venkataramana Sasiranamada Venkataramana Dasanamadi koyanna Swami Sasiranamada Venkataramana Sasiranamada Venkataramana Dasanamadi koyanna Duru buddhigalanalla bideso ninna Duru buddhigalanalla bideso ninna Karuna kavachavinna harana kito deso Karuna kavachavinna harana kito deso Charana sevayanage kodiso Charana sevayanage kodiso Abhaya kara pushpavayana ಶಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಡಿಸೋ ಕರ ಪುಷ್ಪವಯನ್ನ ಶಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಡಿಸೋ ದಾಸನ ಮಾದಿ ಕೋಯನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ಸಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾದಿ ಕೋಯನ್ನ ದೃಢ ಭಕ್ತಿ ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇದೇನ ದೃಢ ಭಕ್ತಿ ನಿನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇದೇನ ನದಿಗರಾಗುವೆನಯ್ಯ ಅನುದಿನ ಪಾದಿ ನದಿಗರಾಗುವೆನಯ್ಯ ಅನುದಿನ ಪಾದಿ ಕದಗನ್ನ ನೆಲಕನ್ನ ನೋದಿ ಕದಗನ್ನ ನೆಲಕನ್ನ ನೋದಿ ಬಿದುವೆ ಕೊದು ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾನವ ಮನ ಶುಚಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊದು ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾನವ ಮನ ಶುಚಿ ಮಾಡಿ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೋಯನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ಸಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೋಯನ್ನ ಮೊರೆ ಒಕ್ಕವರ ಕವ ಬಿರಿದು ಎನ್ನ ಮೊರೆ ಒಕ್ಕವರ ಕವ ಬಿರಿದು ಎನ್ನ ಮರೆಯದೆ ರಾಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾದಿಯ ಪೂರೆದು ಮರೆಯದೆ ರಾಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾದಿಯ ಪೂರೆದು ದುರಿತಗಳೆಲ್ಲವ ತಾರಿದು ದುರಿತಗಳೆಲ್ಲವ ತಾರಿದು ಸಿರಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲ ಎನ್ನನು ಪೋರೆದು ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲ ಎನ್ನನು ಪೋರೆದು ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೋಯನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ಸಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೋಯನ್ನ Jai.
That was simply fabulous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for all our participants, Melinda just sang a beautiful song from the composition of Purandara Dasa, who was one of the known Vaishnava poets, a philosopher, a saint, one of the greatest composers of Carnatic music, who lived in 15th, 16th century. And his songs are popular. His songs are very well known in every household of Karnataka. The song it's a Kannada song. So thank you very much for choosing it and bringing it to us. With this, we'll move on to the announcements for the evening, and I will get back to you for your last parting message of the day. And also I request you to kindly type in key in the books that you mentioned. You referred to 2-3 books. So if you could kindly key in as I'm announcing the next event. Ram Prasad ji, can I request you to kindly show us evening? So this evening, we have a talk by Ravi Manthaji. Ravi Manthaji is a holistic healer, health activist, author, and co-founder of Sage Sustainable Living and Baby Elephant Permaculture Farm. He is a very popular author and a speaker. His latest book, The Baby Elephant Diet, is very popular among nutritionists, So he will be with us this evening delivering a talk on 7-layer therapy, a holistic approach to lifelong well-being. So kindly join us for this session and make the most of it and continue this journey for the next, I think we have it for another 12 days. So do stay with us for all these sessions. And I also would like to add, as many people have been asking, all these recordings, all these sessions are recorded and they're made available on Indica Yoga YouTube channel. Within a couple of hours, the session is over. The edited version of the videos will be uploaded. So do kindly visit Indica Yoga YouTube channel, subscribe it, share with others. All these resources are available for our use only. So with this announcement, I go back to Melinda. I'll just, as you're typing it down, maybe I'll
okay.
be happy to share about the kind of compliments that are showering in. Blissful song in your voice, madam. And then hats
No
off,
need, please,
superb.
no need. Thank you, thank you. I feel
It's just the goodwill from, what we want to share is the goodwill that is pouring in from across the globe. So we have people from Europe, from the East, from India, from many parts of India. So from all these places, people are really thankful to what you have offered to them this afternoon.
what to say. So I'm thankful indeed to being here, and I'm really thankful for your friendship. So what gives me real joy, and so many things I cannot express what I got from your whole family, including your mother, father, brother, wife, kids. So I'm really thankful to meet with you all people, with Anu also. And what to say for all of you, practice, 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 be in the moment. And whatever mistakes we are doing, try to use it for betterment, for improvement. And every moment in our life can act as a teaching, even if it is a difficult situation, if it is pleasant, unpleasant, whatever comes, then we can learn from that. And we can use it as a tool for the realization. That's all that I can say.
Thank you very much. Just there are a couple of questions. I'll be responding to them.
Yeah.
Can I also request you?
Maybe they can write to me.
How can they connect with you? I have given the name of the college, Dharma Gate Buddhist College. I think they can Google with that. But if you want to give a specific email ID with which they want to reach out to you.
Yes, sure. I give my professional email ID from the college. So anyone, if you feel to raise any question, then I'm ready to answer. But please practice patience. Maybe it will take 1 week, 2 weeks. Sometimes we have retreats. So might be I'm not able to answer immediately, but definitely I will answer for all the questions. Okay, so I will write down.
So Vanditaji is asking about the song. As I said, this is a song from the composition of Purandara Dasa. The name of the song is Dasana Madiko Yenna. Please take me as your, I don't know, servant may not be a good word, maybe. Yeah, please allow me to surrender myself to you.
Yeah. If you can get any of these Carnatic Sangeetam, then it is there.
Please make me a servitor of yourself. So that's the song addressed to Krishna or Vishnu, composed by Purandara Dasa. So thank you very much, Melinda. And I thank all our participants who have stayed. We have exceeded by more than 2 hours. Yet you are all staying with us. We really would like to apologize for the stretching of the session. But what we feel is, because all these sessions are also being kept for eternity in terms of YouTube. So there might be people who would be willing to go back, watch it, listen to it. And so that since it's been presented there, we are taking the liberty of your permission and stretching it a little bit. So we are very sorry about it. But because these are rare occasions when we get to meet all these teachers on one platform. And that's the only reason why we are taking this liberty. So with this, I thank each one of you, and I thank Melinda, her family, because I think the family, Thomas is taking care of the family. That's why Melinda is here in this part giving us a lesson. So thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you.
Namaste.